Good morning, and welcome to Creative Living Fellowship's meditation. So we're going to begin meditation. And in this, let's breathe. Let's just take a breath. And we just relax. With each breath, we relax and let go. We release anything we brought into this meditation. We release any thoughts about what we have yet to do today. Because for right now, right at this time, we're going to be just in this space, in this place, in the energy, in the peace and the harmony that God is. And that God energy, that God being is present within each of us. And it is all around. And so we're just going to be with that presence. In the knowing, in the power that is God, that is love and peace, harmony, infinite abundance, infinite knowledge, continuous flow of life. That is what God is, and that is the energy and the space and the peace that we will be in as we go through this meditation. And during this time, just relax and let go and let it flow, let that energy flow. And so we'll just relax we'll just be in the silence as we just be in this place, in this, enjoying this vibrant energy that is God. And so, as we bask in the energy of this presence of the Spirit, the life that is God, we know that we also need to go back into the present, into our space of church, of being on Zoom, being in a room, the presence of others. And so we'll just slowly begin to come back. Feel the temperature in the room. Be aware of the seat beneath us or whatever is beneath us. Slowly know that as we come back, as we come into this place, into this space, this human life, that this spiritual presence, this energy, this life is always with us. It's always a part of us. We cannot be without it. And so it goes with us everywhere. All we need to do is be quiet and be aware and let it flow. And so I'll just go ahead and come back and be in that presence. And when you're ready, open your eyes and just relax into it. And another breath. And service will be starting in a few minutes. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to the Creative Living Fellowship online Sunday service. Please join us in our opening song, Use Me.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. All that I'm saying is, command my hands. What must they do? Command my life. It's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new, and God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to on this beautiful Sunday morning to our Sunday morning service. I'm the Reverend Dr. Sherry F. McCreary. It is my pleasure to be the senior minister here at Creative Living Fellowship and to welcome you here. We are an independent religious science church, and we welcome all paths that lead to truth. We have an intention, our deepest intention is to be a community of love, care, and connection that opens hearts, expands consciousness, and transforms lives. And we do that through the principles and practices of the science of mind. One of our practices here is holding the high watch, and we have two practitioners who are holding the high watch for us today. They are Reverend Dr. Joyce Buchers and Monica Zickus. And what that means is that they're sitting in meditation and prayerful contemplation, just holding a space for the perfect unfolding of this time here together today. So I thank you, Reverend Joyce, and I thank you, Monica Zickus, also. I'd also like to thank Reverend Mary Jane Hyde, who facilitated the beautiful meditation service this morning, pre-service meditation service this morning. Thank you, Reverend Mary Jane. Great job. So let's take a breath together as I just acknowledge the team that it takes to bring this Sunday service to you. And that team consists of Nicole Jordan, who is our Sunday service director, Deb Covington, who is AV and our Jill of all trades. And we have our tech team, a part of our tech team today, who is practitioner Fran Peck. And they all work so diligently to bring this service to you. And I'm so appreciative always and like to give a shout out to them always for the service that you provide here for us each and every week. I have today one of our favorite friends, one of our favorite friends is Kirsten Plambeck, and she'll be with us as our musical inspiration a little bit later. Nicole's going to bring us the announcements, and following the announcements, there will be a brief gong wash. And after the gong wash, there'll be a few moments of silence, and then practitioner Jeannie Sovereigns will bring us our reading and our evocation. But right now, here's Nicole with the announcements.
Good morning, Creative Living Fellowship. It is my pleasure to be here with you this Sunday morning to bring you today's announcements. Meditation is a great mindfulness practice that helps us to be present in the now. Why not join us for midday meditation throughout the week to start or support your meditation practice? Midday meditation is at noon, Monday through Friday. We also have a 20-minute pre-service meditation on Sundays at 9:35 a.m. Join us for any of these meditations through our Facebook and YouTube live streams or in Zoom. Speaking of spiritual practices, join Reverend Jorge every Monday evening and dive deep into the heart of practicing science of mind principles. Say yes to this weekly invitation to apply Sunday messages and lessons to your day-to-day life. Using the practices of contemplation, prayer, and introspection, open up to see beyond your boundaries, self-interest, and transform your consciousness. You can participate in Monday practice with Reverend Jorge through our Facebook and YouTube live streams at 6:30 p.m. Are you dealing with big changes and sudden loss or other challenges in your life? Perhaps a recent medical diagnosis for you or a loved one has you feeling sad and confused. Or maybe you're just not sure where to turn to for services. The CLF Congregant Care Ministry, led by Reverend Cindy Fairmont, consists of a team of ministers, practitioners, and congregants united by a desire to be of service to the community. If you would like to receive services from the Congregant Care Ministry, please email Reverend Cindy at care@creativelivingfellowship.com. And if you're a congregant who is called to be of service to the community through Congregant Care Ministry, they meet on the second Tuesday of every month, which is this Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Send an email to Reverend Cindy at care@creativelivingfellowship.com if you would like to join the team and serve in this ministry. Get your community care and connection on with your CLF family and Reverend Sherry every Tuesday as she hosts a community care connection meeting at 6:30 p.m. in Zoom. This week, Reverend Sherry will be leading Conscious Conversation. If you would like to suggest a conversation topic or activity, please email her at connect@creativelivingfellowship.com. We look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. The Ernest Holmes book study started yesterday to discuss effective prayer. If you wanted to join this discussion, don't fret, you still can. This Saturday, August 14th, is the last chance to join the group. The book is available for $6 through an electronic download from Science of Mind Archives. Don't go to Amazon because it's way overpriced because it's out of production. So we have a $6 download for you. And this is a practical application book to truly experience the results of effective prayer. Sign up today. Reverend Sherry will be leading a CLF community visioning on Sunday, August 15th, following Sunday service at 11:30 a.m. Creative Living Fellowship is a divine idea in the mind of God. That idea is seeking to be revealed to and expressed through each of us in the CLF community as we continue to expand and move forward. When we engage in the sacred practice of visioning together, we open up to make ourselves available to catch God's vision or idea for Creative Living Fellowship. And we develop a greater sense of community, our role in it, and our connection to the whole. The entire CLF community is therefore invited and encouraged to be a part of this community visioning to learn how God wants to show up through us and as Creative Living Fellowship. So mark your calendar now to be with us next Sunday at 11:30. Are you interested in what it means to be a CLF member? Do you already know that you want to be a member? Or do you want to reactivate your membership? Well, then join us for new member orientation on Sunday, August 22nd at 11:30 a.m. Attending the orientation does not automatically make you a member, nor are you committed to membership. But you cannot become an active member without participating in our new member orientation. So register today. Remember, you can use text to give to make your contributions to CLF. Simply text the amount you'd like to give to 602-610-1868 with your smartphone. It's really important that it's a smartphone. If it's your first time donating by text, you'll be sent a link to set up your account. And after that, it's as easy as texting the amount you'd like to tithe to 602-610-1868. And CLF is a tithing church, which means that we tithe off of your tithes. And our 2021 third quarter tithes will go to Child Crisis Arizona, providing children and youth in Arizona a safe environment. Speaking of those quarterly tithes, we're always looking for more nonprofits to send your quarterly tithes to. So if you have a nonprofit you'd like to nominate, please use the link found in the comments to submit your recommendation. And just a reminder, we have a new mailing address. You can also find this address on our website, posted on our Facebook page, or in your weekly newsletter. Our Sunday prayer room is available to you after service today. Get your after service prayer with a practitioner by heading on over to Zoom using the link provided in the comments. Prayer room participants are transferred into a private breakout room for a session with one of our licensed practitioners. And after service, we have Sunday fellowship too. Join us in Zoom and hang out, discuss the service, what's on your mind or heart, and connect with your CLF family. If you're currently in Zoom with us right now and you want to do fellowship, just stay where you are. And if you're not currently in Zoom with us, you can find the link for fellowship and the links for all of our other events on our website under events, under our Facebook events, posted in the comments, or in your weekly newsletter. That is it for today's announcements. It is now time to move on to our gong wash, followed by a moment of silence.
Morning. Today's reading, Architects of the Beloved Community, from Spiritual Liberation by Michael Bernard Beckwith. The beloved community is based on the awareness that we are all one. Architects of the beloved community release a vibration of love wherever they go, in the line at the market, on the freeway, at the gym, in the workplace, in the presence of so-called enemies. They reveal the highest love potential of the human spirit. With increasing commitment, let us wrap our awareness around the preciousness of human life and devote our energies to realizing our oneness with our brothers and sisters on the planet. One of the most tender experiences you will encounter on the path of spiritual revolution is the realization that you are never walking alone. You are walking with the infinite, the power and the presence within all that exists. This awareness enables you to move through society as a transforming agent who dares to stand in the spiritual integrity, announcing the truth that love is the law of life. There is no separation between our political endeavor, social endeavor, and spiritual endeavor. All is to be governed by the immutable principle that we are indeed one global family, co-creating the destiny of our planet. Then watch your spark of practice become a wildfire of awakening, a torrent of divine love and compassion that uplifts the world. Every time we express love, every time we give up resentments and animosity, every time we forgive, every time we serve others, every time we share our resources, every time we put others first, we walk the path of the spiritual revolutionary. We don't have to get our act together to become a beneficial presence on the planet. We come just as we are. Don't wait for politicians, pundits, spiritual teachers, and motivational speakers to give you permission. It rests with each of us to begin right within ourselves. When we broadcast love out into our world, then as surely as the day follows the night, we will see that the beloved community breaks out wherever we go. Knowing and affirming that the beloved community is God in action, God in form, God as each and every one of us. And I am part of this divine idea in the mind of God, as is everyone within the sound of my voice and beyond. I, Jeannie, speak my word into the law for the highest and best good of this day, of this service. Blessing Reverend Dr. Sherry as she brings us the message of love, light, and hope. Blessing each and every participant in this service, each and every person hearing these words receives exactly what they need. I bless today every politician, every teacher of all faiths in all places, knowing that the divine idea of community and unity and harmony is one and spread throughout the world. I know this and I claim this to be so. With gratitude for these blessings, for this time together, for this divine idea in the mind of God, I release now my word knowing it is already done. I call it good. And with faith, truth, and trust, I let it go. And so it is. And another beautiful divine idea in the mind of God is our musical inspiration, Kirsten Plambeck.
Good morning, Creative Living Fellowship. My name is Kirsten Plambeck, and it's a blessing and an honor to be here singing for you today. Good is the light that goes by the front door. Don't forget the key under the mat. Childhood stars shine. Always stay humble and kind. Go to church 'cause your mama says to. Visit grandpa every chance that you can. Won't be wasting time. Always stay humble and kind. Open doors, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie. Know you got mountains to climb. Always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride. Always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free life from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip for his wife. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Always stay humble and kind. Know the difference between being with someone and being real with someone you love. I love you ain't no pickup line. Always stay humble and kind. Open the door, say please, say thank you. your sunshine. Always stay humble and kind. Don't take for granted the love that life gives you. When you get where you're going, don't forget, turn back around. Help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie. No, you're not mountains to climb. Always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come true, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel right. Always stay humble and kind.
Wow. Thank you so much, Kirsten Plambeck. We really, really enjoyed that song very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Always be humble and kind. Let's take a breath together, because this month we're talking about the kindness factor, and wow, do we need that? The kindness factor, the act of generosity, of generosity of heart, generosity of spirit, the act of compassion, the act of love, the act of love. All of that goes along with kindness. Kindness and love go hand in hand. And I just encourage us all to keep that in mind, because it is so important for us to move through this time in that place of kindness. And I invited us all last week to be kindness, to set your intention to be kindness itself, to be the gift and the giver, to be the gift of kindness and the giver of kindness. And I think that as we do that and recognize the consciousness shift that happens for us, then our lives begin to change. And because our lives change, the ripple effect happens and the world begins to change. And so I'm going to be talking about kindness all month, and we're going to be really, really focusing on kindness and being that itself throughout this month. And I'm just encouraging you to just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as we go through this time. You know, my topic today is the company we keep. The company we keep. And the company we keep is so important to remember kindness when we think about the company we keep. You know, scripture tells us that we are known by the company we keep. And I'm saying to us also that the company we keep is the outpicturing of our consciousness. That's why we are known by the company we keep, because it is outpicturing who we are. It is outpicturing who we are in consciousness. And so I think it's really important for us to keep that in mind, that invitations are always going out and invitations are always coming in to us and always going out from us to keep company with someone. And we usually think of keeping company as keeping company with people, but we keep company in so many different ways. That keeping company means the time that we spend, the relationship that we have, the interactions that we have. And so just really keeping in mind that the company we keep is really an outpicture of our consciousness, because we cannot experience what we don't have the consciousness for. And so when different situations or different people or different things turn up in our lives, it's really a result of the consciousness. It's a result of our consciousness. And so that is so important for us to keep that in mind as we go along. And when we are talking about kindness, when we're looking at kindness and when we're looking at how kindness works in our lives, and look around us at the world today, it seems that many people are in a race to the bottom. They're in a race to see who can be the meanest, who can be the most cruel, who can be the harshest, who can be the rudest. And we see that everywhere we look sometimes. You see it on social media, you see it on TV, you see it in the grocery store, you see it everywhere. And what we want to do is to shift that, is to shift that with our own consciousness by our own intention to be kindness, for our own intention to really be architects of this beloved community that the reading was talking about today. And that's wherever we go, whether it is in the grocery store line, whether it is on the freeway, whether it is walking down the street, whether it is in our homes with our own families and our own loved ones, or whether it is just with ourselves, just being with ourselves, being kind to ourselves, being loving to ourselves. And let that lovingness just precede us in everything we do and everywhere we go. You know, Ernest Holmes even asked the question, have we kindness for each other? Are we flexible enough to know that everyone does not have to think alike to live together harmoniously? Are we able to put aside or put ourselves in other people's place and overlook the irritations of life and reach across all differences of opinion to the common ground upon which we all stand? Are we able to put aside our differences? Are we able to recognize, are we flexible enough to know that we don't all have to think alike? We don't all have to see things alike. We don't all have to choose the same things. And we can still live together in harmony. We can still live together as brothers and sisters on the planet. Or we can perish together, as Martin Luther King says, as fools on this planet. So it is so important for us to keep that in mind as we go through this time. And so today, in talking about the company we keep, just some things I want you to keep in mind. Start to assess the company that you're keeping. Start to assess the company that you're keeping. It could start with people, because that's what we generally think about when we think about company, the people in our lives. You know, it's an interesting thing about the company we keep and consciousness. Can you remember a time in your life when there were certain people in your life or certain situations in your life that were constantly there? And as you began to grow spiritually, as you begin to unfold in a different kind of way, as you begin to become your authentic self, those people began to fall away. Those people just aren't in your life anymore, that they're not attracted to you and nor you to them. They just begin to fall away. That's what happens. That's how consciousness works. When our consciousness shifts, anything that is not of the same consciousness of like vibration will fall away. Those people, those situations, those circumstances just begin to fall away. And so it is really important for us to look at the people who are in our lives now, the situations who are in our lives now, the circumstances that are in our lives now, to tell us where we are in consciousness. And if we don't like what we see, you know what? We can change it. We're at choice point right here and right now. We can change. We can change our consciousness right now. And we do that by changing our thinking, changing the way we think about things, changing our thoughts. Change your thinking, change your life. That's basic science of mind principle. Change your thinking, change your life. And when we change our thoughts, then our lives begin to change. Ernest Holmes says, if we don't control our thoughts will control us. If we don't control our thoughts will control us. When I was a kid, all my life, I heard my mother say, if you don't control your mind will control you. She was talking pure Ernest Holmes. If you don't control your mind, she would say, your mind will control you. And she really believed that. She really believed that. And she taught that to us all the time. If we don't control our thinking will control us. Our thinking will control us. That's just the way that it works. That's just the way that it works. And Ernest Holmes says, if we can rearrange our thoughts instantly, then we can have instantaneous results. We can have instantaneous results. We can have instantaneous results if we can rearrange our thinking instantly. But don't be discouraged if we can't do that. Just keep rearranging your thinking and know that there's a principle that we're working with that cannot fail. That there's a principle that we're working with that cannot fail. So when we change our thinking, when we rearrange our thinking, if it takes more time than that instantaneous thing that we want to have happen, then just continue to work with it, because the principle works all the time. The law works all the time. So when we change our thinking, our life will change, because our thinking is the creative point. Our thoughts are creative. And so it's important for us to keep in mind that our thoughts are also the company we keep. Our thoughts are also the company we keep. What's going on in your head when you're doing that assessment about the company you keep? Please look at what's going on in your head, because we all know that our heads are sometimes dangerous places for us to be. And we know that it's necessary for us to stay out of it sometimes, because it can be a dangerous place. And when you feel that your head is in that danger zone, when your head has moved into that red zone, take a deep breath and step back. Take a deep breath and step back. Take a deep breath and step back, and then start to replace. You know, we change our thoughts by replacing the thoughts that we're having with a thought that's of a higher nature, that's of a higher quality. And you continue to replace it. You continue to replace it. You continue to replace it. If you're having negative thoughts, negative feelings, you continue to replace them. You continue to replace them. You continue to replace them. And that's how the pattern changes. That's how the pattern changes. The willingness to continue to change the company that we're keeping. The willingness to continue to send out a different invitation. To send out a different invitation to the company we want to keep. And to accept different invitations. Accept different invitations, because, you know, Holmes says that we are a broadcasting station. We are constantly broadcasting, but with our vibration, with our consciousness, and we are constantly receiving. We're constantly broadcasting, we're constantly receiving. And so those invitations that go out from us to keep company with us go out according to our own consciousness. And the invitations that come back to us as receiving stations, those invitations that come back as receiving stations are also a result of our own consciousness. And so what we have to do is keep pouring in more, keep pouring in more, keep pouring in more of what we want, so that we can begin to keep the company that we want to keep. We begin to keep the company that we want to keep. And we don't have to engage when we get that invitation on Facebook to say something really mean to somebody. When somebody says something that you know is just really way out in left field. You don't have to respond to that. In the writing about being a broadcast station, Ernest Holmes says, if someone throws a brick at you, you don't have to catch it. You can just step aside. Somebody throws a brick, you do not have to catch it. And that's exactly what we're doing when we are responding or arguing with people on social media about things. Or in person. If someone cuts you off on the freeway, you don't have to do that thing that you do and yell at them or use that language that you use, or whatever the case may be with what you do with your hands and fingers. You can just let them go. If they cut you off, just let them go. Just let them go. It doesn't, you know, we don't have to accept that invitation. We don't have to accept that invitation from whoever that is or whatever that situation may be. We don't have to accept that invitation to keep company with drama, to keep company with anger, to keep company with meanness, to keep company with blame, to keep company with shame. We can accept invitations and send out invitations with our own consciousness to keep company with love, to keep company with forgiveness, to keep company with balance and with harmony, to keep company with those things that we want in our lives, those things that we want to experience in our lives. And so that's why I'm inviting you today to assess the company that you're keeping. Assess the company that you're keeping, and then determine whether or not you want to keep it. Determine whether or not you want to keep it. That's the second thing for you to do. Set the boundary. If you decide, no, this isn't company I want to keep, you're at choice point. Set that boundary. Set that boundary. You have a right to set a boundary and say, and choose what you want to have in your life. Choose what you want to have as a part of your experience. We all have a right to do that. We have a right not to catch that brick. If somebody throws it, just let them throw it and step aside and keep on going, keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward and be willing to be who you are. Be willing to be that beneficial presence on the planet that we talk about. to be that beneficial presence on the planet. When we are in that place of kindness, and I keep coming back to kindness because this is what it's all about, when we're in that place of unconditional love and premeditated kindness, which is what I was talking about last week. I love that idea, premeditated kindness. Premeditated kindness. And what that reminds me of, there's a writing by an essay by Howard Thurman, where he says that you cannot keep open the door to your heart, that there's no way that you can keep me from loving you. There's no way I can keep you from loving me. No matter how hard you try, you can close your heart, you can close all doors, but there's no way you can keep me from loving you. And there's no way I can keep you from loving me. I think that's awesome. I think that is awesome. And when we think about kindness and love going hand in hand, and we decide that we are going to practice and be premeditated kindness, nobody can block that. Nobody can block your kindness. They may decide they don't want certain actions from you. They don't want to accept what you're giving them, but that's on them. That's on them. That's not up to you. It's just for us to be what we were created to be. Givers and receivers of love. That's what we were created to be. That's our purpose on this planet, to be givers and receivers of love. And we exhibit that love through our kindness, through our acts of kindness, through our kind words, through our kind thoughts, through our blessings, through our support of others, through our trying to always live our lives in a way that life is going to be better, not only for us, but for anyone who comes in contact with us. That there will be a smile for everyone, even when we don't feel like smiling sometimes, that there will be a smile and a nod and continuing to move forward and just releasing and letting go of the stuff that we hold on to. And so I invite you to really, in addition to assessing the company that you keep, decide what invitations you're going to hold on to. Decide what invitations you're going to send out, and decide what invitations you're going to accept, because it's up to you. It's up to you. And then once you make that decision, stand in your own power. Stand in your own power. Stand in your own integrity. Stand in your own authenticity. Dare to be who you are. Dare to be who you are. And dare to make the choices that are for the highest and best for you and for all with whom you come in contact. Dare to be your authentic self, as I talk about a lot. And you know, when we really get into being our authentic selves, we find that we don't have to compartmentalize. We don't have to compartmentalize our lives. We don't have to have our spiritual life over here and our work life over here and our love life over here and our friendships are over here. We don't have to have all that. We realize that there's only one life, and we have only one life, and we can be the same person. We can be the same person in each aspect of our lives. We can be the same person in each area of our lives. And before we really come to recognize that we have that right to be who we are wherever we are, then we start to compartmentalize. I remember many years ago, I lived in another state, and I had a lot of friends in different areas of my life. And they were all very good friends. And when I got ready to leave, I wanted to have a big party and invite everybody so that I could say goodbye to everybody at the same time, rather than having to have lunch over here and dinner over there and breakfast over here and phone call here and whatever. Let's just have a big party and invite everybody. But I knew that everybody wouldn't work, because they wouldn't get along, because everybody knew a different part of me. Everybody knew a different me. And so when they came together, if they started to talk about their experience with me, some of them would wonder who on earth they were talking about, because there was not that consistency there. There was not that consistency there. And so that was really disturbing to me, because I couldn't have all of them together, because I knew that wouldn't work. But that disturbed me for many years. And until I began to really go deeper in my spiritual practice, in my spiritual work, and allow all the stuff to fall away, and to recognize and to stand in who I am, stand in who I am. Yes, I have different friends that I do different things with. I have different friends that I discuss certain things with. I have different people in my life that who enjoy certain things that other friends don't enjoy. But they all are dealing with me. They all are dealing with me, the authentic me. And so that's what I'm inviting you to do, to really look at who you are, and then allow who you are, the consciousness of who you are, to attract those people in who are your friends in whatever aspects of your life, because there's only one life. But whatever activities that we find ourselves involved in, whatever activity we find ourselves involved in, it's important for us to be our authentic self and to allow people to see who we are as we allow ourselves to be who we are. And if we are being our authentic, loving, kind self, then everybody gets to experience that kindness. Everybody gets to experience that premeditated kindness. Everybody gets to experience that unconditional love. And you can bring them all together, and they can be as different as night and day, and they can still come together. They can still come together and still appreciate being together and appreciate that they all know you. When some years ago, before I moved here, I had a officiated memorial service for a woman who had a lot of friends. And after she passed away, her daughter wanted to have her closest friends to come to a brunch at her condo, and just to celebrate her mother's life. And so they had this brunch, and all these people were there, and none of them knew each other. And each one of them thought that they were her best friend. Each one of them, she had made each of them feel that they were her best friend, and they all came together, and they all had such wonderful things to say about this person. And they realized they all knew the same person. They just didn't know each other, and they just didn't know that person in that aspect of her life, in those activities in which she was engaged. But they all knew the same person, and they all loved the same person. I thought that was just a really, really wonderful example of what it means not to compartmentalize, of what it means to stand in your authenticity, of what it means to be who you are, no matter who it is that you're with, no matter what activity you find yourself engaged in. When you are being who you really are, then the company you keep, it's the same company. They have different names. They have different names. They have different activities, different interests and all that. But the company you keep is the same. It's a reflection of your consciousness. It's a reflection of your consciousness. Before Rachel and I moved here, we had our last Christmas brunch in California, and we had brunch on Christmas morning, and there were about 30 people who came, and many of them didn't know each other, but and there was no issue about bringing all these people together who didn't know each other, different walks of life, different interests and whatever, but they all came together, and they all got to experience the love and the care and the connection that we all had, and getting to know each other. And it reminded me so much of that time many, many years ago when I was leaving another place, and I couldn't invite all my friends because I was afraid they might fight. They wouldn't get along. So the important thing for us to keep in mind is that the company we keep is a reflection of our consciousness. And if our consciousness is a consciousness of love and a consciousness of kindness, then we are always keeping the same company, because our company is always a part of that one life, that one power, that one presence, that one mind, that one intelligence, that one love that permeates everything, that one love that is in the midst of everything. That one love, that one heart. That's what we will see when we begin to bring everyone together. When we begin to really look at the company we keep. We want the company we keep to be that one company. That one company is the company we keep. That one company is the company of God, the company of the all that is. And allowing it to just flow, allowing it to just evolve, allowing it to be all that it was created to be through each and every one. through each and every situation in which we find ourselves, when we can keep our hearts open, when we can keep our minds open, when we can keep ourselves in a place of intention, in a place of living intentionally, in a place of loving intentionally, in a place of being kindness intentionally, when we can do this, then we can really, 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 really be architects of the beloved community. We can be architects of the beloved community. We can be not only spiritual revolutionaries, we can be spiritual evolutionaries. We can evolve. We can allow ourselves to evolve into all that we were created to be, into all that we were created to be by practicing loving kindness. Loving kindness. And when we do that, the company we keep is just one. One, because we are a part of the one life and the one mind and the one intelligence and the one essence. And we allow that one to shine forth from us in every aspect of our lives, in everything we do, every place we go. And that's what I'm inviting for you today. That's what I'm inviting for you today, to keep the company of the one. Keep the company of the one foremost in your mind, in your heart, in your practice, in your world. Keep the company of the one, and then walk forward. Walk forward. Walk forward as your authentic self in that one, knowing that you're always walking in the love of God. You're always walking in the love of the one. God bless you. Let's take a breath as we turn within in this moment. Just taking a breath, recognizing that one power, that one presence, that one mind, that one life, that one activity, that one love, that one heartbeat, that one vibration, that one essence, that one that I choose to call God, that one that is the source of our being, that one that is my very life, that is that from which I can never be separate, that one that is the life of each of us here this day, that one in whose image and likeness we are all made, that one that lives and moves and has its being in me as I live and move and have my being in it, as we all live and move and have our being in it. That one is the only company we ever need. It's the only company we keep. And so I'm speaking a word for each of us this day, speaking a word of oneness, speaking a word of wholeness, speaking a word of authenticity, speaking a word of healing, healing on every level of our being, every level of our being. And anything that is unlike perfect healing, perfect wholeness falls away. Anything that is unnecessary for our evolutionary process falls away. It's dissolved into the nothingness from whence it came. And so we can release the doubts and the fears and the judgment and the anger and all the stuff that doesn't serve us. We release the discomfort and the dis-ease of any kind. And we open ourselves up to that love, that power, that presence that makes all things new, that makes all things new, that heals all hearts, that great comforter that heals the broken heart, the grieving heart, that great healer that is healing the body temple of any dis-ease, of any pain, of any discomfort, knowing that every cell, organ, tissue, function of the body is responding to that healing presence, to that radiant presence, to that loving presence, that one love that is my very life and the life of each of us, that one love that goes from us out into the world, that one love that heals everything, that brings everything together. I'm speaking the word for that one love for each of us this day. And so this word goes out onto this planet to anyone needing a prayer this day, needing a word spoken this day, needing healing this day. All those who are affected by fires and floods and natural disasters or other disasters of any kind. I know that God is in the midst of everything, every situation, every circumstance. God is in the midst of it all, blessing and keeping, blessing and keeping. That divine right action is taking place everywhere. This word goes out to our government officials, those who are in charge of making decisions, knowing that the highest decisions are being made for the highest good of all concerned. For God is in the midst of all the decision making, that there's divine guidance and direction everywhere available, everywhere available, everywhere available, everywhere happening. And so I'm going to pause momentarily as I open the circle of prayer for you to speak the names of anyone you'd like held in prayer this day. You may speak their names silently or loud, and you may speak them now. And so for all those whose names were spoken here this day, I know that God is right in the midst. God is right where each person is, blessing and keeping, that healing is happening in every life, in every situation, in every circumstance, for God is in the midst of everything. Anyone on this planet needing a prayer, God is in the midst. God is in the midst, and healing is happening everywhere. Despite any appearances, God is in the midst. I know this to be the truth. I give great, great thanks for the word spoken here this day. I give great, great thanks for the perfect manifestation of this word spoken here this day. I know that all is well, for I know indeed that all is God. And I simply allow it to be. I simply allow it to be. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Sherry, for that beautiful and very powerful talk and prayer. Yes. This is the time we participate in the divine law of giving and receiving by giving of our tithes and our offerings. CLF is a tithing church, and we invite you to join us in this sacred practice by tithing here at CLF. Click the donate link on our website or in the comments in Zoom and or on Facebook. You can also use your smartphone to text to give. We appreciate your continued support of CLF. And now let's repeat our offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God, and so it is. And now let's welcome back Kirsten Plambeck with our offering song.
Take the burden from my arms. Take the anchors off my lungs. Take me broken and make me one. Break the silence and make it a song. Life is short, I wanna live it well. When life wants story to tell. Life is short, I wanna live it well. You're the one I'm living for. Awaken all my soul. Every breath that we take is a miracle. And life is short, I wanna live it well. short, I wanna live it well. You're the one I'm living for. Awaken all my soul. Every breath that we take is a miracle. Life is short, I wanna live it well. I got one life and one love. I got one voice, maybe that's not enough. But with one heartbeat and two hands to give, I got one shot and one life to live. Yeah, life is short, I wanna live it well. One life, one story to tell. Life is short, I wanna live it well. You're the one I'm living for. Awaken all my soul. Every breath that we take is a miracle. Life is short, I wanna live it well. Yeah. Life is short, I wanna live it well. One life, one story to tell. Life is short, I wanna live it well. You're the one I'm living for. Awaken all my soul. Every breath that we take is a miracle. Life is short, I wanna live it well. Yeah.
Thank you, Kirsten Plambeck. Yes, life is short. We want to live it well. And that's what I'm encouraging us all to do today. Live it well. Live it well. Thank you, favorite friend. We look forward to having you back real soon. Let's take a breath together. I have a few closing announcements I'd like to share with you. Don't forget, next Sunday, we have our community visioning. And I'm inviting all of you to come and participate in our first Zoom community visioning. And I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be great. I think it's really, really past time for us to come together as a community to really vision about open ourselves to God's idea of how it wants to show up as Creative Living Fellowship as we move forward. Because God already, as I always say, CLF is a divine idea in the mind of God. God already knows what CLF is to look like, where we're to go, what we're to do, how we're to be. And we just will all come together as a community to open up to allow that to be revealed to and through each one of us. So I invite you all to come out next Sunday at 11:30 and vision with us in our community visioning. Don't miss it. You don't want to miss it. So the other thing is, don't forget that we also have the following Sunday, we have a new member orientation. So if you are interested in being a new member, renewing your membership, be sure and sign up so that you can participate in our new member orientation 2 weeks from now. Let's take a breath again. Monday nights, we have Monday practice with Reverend Jorge. Wonderful, wonderful practice time from 6:30 to 7. I invite you all to come out and join on Facebook or YouTube, Reverend Jorge and Monday practice with him. It's really a wonderful, wonderful time. Immediately after service today, we have fellowship as usual. Jeannie Sovereigns, practitioner, will be facilitating that. And I'd love to connect with you guys also in the fellowship room, just like we used to do in Holmes Hall. Now we do it on Zoom. I think that is really, really great. So I look forward to seeing you all there. Of course, Monday evening, no, I said that already. The Tuesday evening connection call that we do on Tuesdays and have been doing for the last almost 18 months now, every Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:45. I love meeting with people in the connection meeting. So this week we're going to have Conscious Conversation. I invite you to come out and join us for that. And if, as Deb said, if you have something that you want to specifically talk about, just email me at connect@creativelivingfellowship.com. Immediately after service, also prayer with the practitioners available in the Zoom prayer room. So you can just head right to the Zoom prayer room if you're not already there, and you probably aren't. So you can click on the link for the Zoom prayer room to pray with the practitioner in breakout rooms, or you can send an email to the practitioner core if you'd like a written prayer request to go out to them. They pray over your prayer request for 30 days. That's prayer@creativelivingfellowship.com. Or you can call a practitioner from our on-call practitioner list. They're available to pray with you 24/7. The practitioners who are on that list. the important thing is don't walk around with a heavy heart. Don't walk around with a heavy heart. Practitioners are available to pray with you, and I'm wanting to pray with you because that's what practitioners do. And so I invite you to avail yourself of the services of a practitioner. Wow, let's take a breath. The other thing to remind you of is the treatment for supply, our community prayer. Don't forget to use it. Don't forget to use it. Don't forget to use it over and over again because it really works. Science of Mind textbook, page 262 is the treatment for supply. So I encourage you to continue to use that. Oh, I want to mention that book study is a drop-in group and it is still open. So you can the book this month is Effective Prayer with Reverend Mary Jane Hyde. And it's really, really a great book study. It's a great time to learn more about the writings and teachings of Ernest Holmes. It's the Ernest Holmes book study is the official name of it. And the book, as I said, this time is Effective Prayer. So drop in on Saturday mornings from 10 to 12 to avail yourself of the opportunity to learn more about the writings and teachings of Ernest Holmes and the Science of Mind. So make sure you check that out also. Connect with each other, write, call, send emails, texts, however you connect. But remember to say, I love you. Remember to say, I'm thinking of you. Remember to say, hello, how are you? And know that we will be back together again soon, sooner than we think, sooner than it has been. And what I said to you right now is that I love you, I miss you, I can't wait to see you at some point. And I know indeed that all is well and that you are so blessed. You are so blessed. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. And now here's our closing song, our release.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I